I had moved into the forest to disappear. Not dramatically, no crimes, no broken hearts, no tragic past worth telling. I was just tired of noise. Tired of screens, deadlines, and the endless sense that the world was moving faster every year while I stayed exactly the same. So I built a cabin deep in the northern woods, far from paved roads and cell towers. Solar panels. A well. A wood stove. The kind of quiet where you can hear snow fall and your own thoughts start to sound too loud. That night, I was sitting by the fire, sharpening a knife and listening to the wind move through the trees, when something knocked on my door. 3 slow knocks. Heavy. Precise. I frowned. No one came this far out. Hikers avoided the area. Locals thought the woods were cursed. I stood, reached for the old hunting rifle by the door, and called out. "Who's there?" Silence. Then the knocks came again, closer this time, somehow, as if the door itself were being tested. I opened it. And my understanding of reality shattered. She stood just beyond the porch light, framed by snow and shadow. Taller than me by at least a head. Broad-shouldered. Armored in dark, unfamiliar metal that looked grown rather than forged. Her skin was a deep, muted blue-gray, marked with faint, glowing patterns that pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. Her eyes, those were the worst part. Not because they were monstrous, but because they were intelligent. Focused. Tired. She looked at me the way a soldier looks at a battlefield, measuring, alert, but not hostile. I couldn't speak. Before I could even process what I was seeing, she spoke. "Human," she said, her voice low, controlled, accented in a way no earth language ever was. "I am injured. And you are the only one within 12 kilometers who might survive helping me." I just stared at her. That was not what I expected. My mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. "I'm sorry," I finally managed. "You're what?" She swayed slightly. One armored hand pressed against her side, where dark fluid almost black was seeping between cracked plates. "I am a warrior of the Corel ascendancy," she said. "And if I remain standing much longer, I will fall." That seemed like a good reason to stop asking questions. "Okay," I said hoarsely, stepping back. "Yeah. Come in. Please. Before you fall on my porch and I have to explain that to nobody." She blinked, as if unsure whether that was humor. Then she stepped inside. Up close, the damage was worse. Her armor was scorched, torn open in places by weapons I didn't recognize. Beneath it, her physiology was similar enough to human that my brain latched onto familiarity: 2 arms, 2 legs, a face structured for expression, but different enough to keep me on edge. I guided her to the table near the fire. She lowered herself carefully, controlled even in pain. "I'm not a doctor," I said, already grabbing the emergency kit I kept for accidents. "I can't promise." "You will do," she said calmly. "You have steady hands." That startled me. "How do you know?" She looked at my fingers as I opened the kit. "You sharpen blades evenly," she said. "And you opened the door despite fear. That suggests discipline." I snorted softly. "Or stupidity." "No," she said. "Stupidity smells different." I cleaned the wound as best I could, hands shaking despite myself. Her blood reacted strangely to antiseptic, shimmering faintly before settling. She hissed once but didn't pull away. "Who did this to you?" I asked. Others of my kind, she replied. I refused an order. That'll do it, I muttered. Same everywhere, I guess. She watched me carefully. You speak as if you understand war. I understand people, I said. War's just people with permission to be their worst. That made her pause. You are not wrong, she said slowly. It took over an hour to stabilize her. I rigged a splint, sealed the worst of the damage with medical gel, and helped her remove part of the armor. Underneath, the glowing patterns on her skin brightened, then slowly dimmed as her breathing steadied. When I finally stepped back, exhausted, she looked relieved. You should be dead, she said. Yeah, I replied. People tell me that a lot. She tilted her head, studying me in a way that felt oddly respectful. My name is Varelkara, she said. I was a commander. Was? I asked. I am no longer welcome among my people, she said quietly. The fire cracked. Wind brushed the cabin walls. I nodded. Well, welcome to exile. We have soup. She actually laughed. It was a rough sound, like she hadn't used it in a long time. She stayed the night. Then another. Then several more. I learned she had crashed in the forest while fleeing a purge. Her species valued obedience above all else, and she had refused to massacre a colony that had already surrendered. They called it weakness, she said one night as we sat by the fire. I called it restraint. Humans argue about that too, I said. Usually right before doing the wrong thing anyway. As her strength returned, so did something else, purpose. She helped reinforce the cabin, moved through the forest like it was an extension of her body, and taught me things about awareness, about listening not just with ears but with instinct. One morning, as dawn filtered through the trees, she stood on the porch, gazing into the woods. They will find me eventually, she said. Yeah, I replied. People usually do. She turned to me. Which is why my first words to you were true, she said. You were the only one who might survive helping me. I frowned. You mean because of my hands? No, she said. Because you chose compassion without knowing the cost. She straightened, warrior again. When they come, she said, they will not expect resistance here. I swallowed. You're saying there's going to be a fight. I am saying, she replied, that if you wish to leave, I will understand. I looked at my cabin, the forest, the quiet I had built. Then at her. Nah, I said. I didn't build this place to run. Her eyes softened, just slightly. Then, she said, I will fight beside you. They came 3 days later. Sleek shapes cutting through the sky. Soldiers moving through the trees. They underestimated us. They always did. The forest favored patience, preparation, and humans were very good at adapting. By the time it was over, the snow was scorched, the silence returned, and the invaders were gone. Varelkara stood among the trees, breathing hard, alive. So, I said, leaning on my rifle. Still think I might survive helping you? She looked at me, then inclined her head deeply, a warrior's respect. I think, she said, that I survived because of you. The forest grew quiet again. But I was no longer alone. And I suspected my life in the woods had just become much bigger than silence.